Welcome to Ruckosaurus Rex, the channel where we review and discuss all things dinosaur and other prehistoric animals. And today we're going to talk about something else that goes by Rex, namely Tyrannosaurus Rex, the original Rex. Someone like myself, I'm just a pretender. But enough about that. This is from Haolonggood. We've gotten several Tyrannosaurus Rex models from the likes of PNSO and other companies like Rebor, etc. This is Haolonggood's first offering of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, not their first offering of a Tyrannosaur. We've gotten a Displetosaurus from them before, but this is their take on the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And as always with Haolonggood, they provide them in two different variations. The blue that you see in the back there and the brown that's more up close, I believe on the rear. On the other side, they're flipped. Speaking of sides, you can look there on the left side as we're viewing, and you can see that I've got something there, and this came in the packaging. I mean, it was shipped with this attached. We've got there on the top different species that Haolonggood has provided us, going all the way back to the Spinosaurus that you see in that upper left. And then looking at the rear, and it's exactly as I stated, the blue is now up front. So enough about that. Let's get our boy out of packaging and see what's going on. Here's what our boy looks like out of packaging, and I'm classifying it as boy male because of the blue, the brighter color. If I had gotten the brown one, it would have been labeled a she as far as I would have been concerned because of the, well, at least on paper, duller color. But I did go for this color. I usually do go for the more dirty look, if you will, browner colors when I get these models. But something about this blue just took me, so I had to have it, and I'm glad I do it. The paint apps look great. That blue for me, blue green. It's bluish. It's blue greenish basically. It's popping for real. And then when you get to that skull and you see the colors going on with the crest and everything, yeah, I think I made a good choice. First thing to do is, while we've got our Rex here standing, let's take a measurement. And we have got, our guy is about 1 foot and 3/4 long, 12 and 3/4 inches long. So just by me leading off with 12, that lets me know that this is among the smallest of our Rex models that we have. And if you do your calculations, that represents a 37-foot long animal, around the size of the Rex that's in New York's American Museum of Natural History. That Rex is about 37 feet long, if I'm not mistaken, 37, 38, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, yeah, that'll be cool. Which means that basically any other Rex you match this one up with is going to come in smaller. And it could work for you, because since it's so colorful as it is, it can be the male. You know, there are a lot of scientists that believe that the female of the species were larger than the males as a byproduct of, we'll call it security. We'll call it security. If the female were larger, then it could definitely more effectively protect against predation, cannibalism. A rogue male T-Rex coming around looking for some food and want to take out one of the chicks, and mama wouldn't have it. In fact, a lot of documentaries, you know, like Prehistoric Planet, etc., depending, maybe not necessarily Prehistoric Planet, but you get what I'm trying to say. Whenever they would have a scene where they're going to show a pair, a male trying to find a mate, and he runs across a female, they may mention that the female is larger, and they'll definitely mention that the male has to move very cautiously because he doesn't want to, he could, messing with the females could be very dangerous. So you could actually play that game if you have, like, you want to match this up with a PNSO model, because the PNSO models are going to be larger, because just from my memory, they always, when you do a measurement with them, they always start with 13 inches. So, that tells you that right there. Anyway, this is looking really nice, and we're going to take a closer look at it. And as always, we start with the skull. And like I said, this is a beautiful rendition right here. Before we get the forward-facing look, we'll continue with this right profile, so you could see. Look at the colors on the crest there. The eye is, I've got to look at it, I believe we're talking yellow with a black pupil. At least I think that's what's going on there. Yeah, it's yellow with a black pupil. And you see the different colors there. There's some of that blue-green going on there. We've got, it lightens up, but then we have like a dry brushing or a wash that brings out the scales. Pretty nice. This is, we're going lipless this go round, which is peculiar when we're talking Haolonggood. The Displetosaurus that I mentioned earlier is, it's got lips. And so now we fast forward and we've got the big dog and it's lipless. We don't know if it was or not. This is really individual preferences and stuff like that. But I know this is going to cause controversy because there are no lips. We're going crocodile style. And that won't sit well with some collectors, but it is what it is. Once again, going back to the colors, though, you see the how nice that is. Now it's time for that forward-facing look that I spoke of. The bino vision is there. Nice crests with the coloration there. We've got you see the nasal passageway, the snout is really nice. Turning to that other side. Yes, this is definitely a work of art. We're going to look at the top there, and we see the different colors. The scalation is beautiful. I'm loving that. And now we're getting to the nitty-gritty when it comes to the colors. That bluish and green in there, the way it melts into one another, and then you've got the black striping, and they're asymmetrical. Nothing looks the same. I love that. And going down, we've got some more of the blue-greenish going on, and it melts into this kind of like a greenish, a brownish green color right there, and you see the scalation is crazy. I know you can see it. I'm looking at my viewfinder, and I can see it even on that small screen, so I know you guys will be able to see that on your phones, on TV, or tablets, whatever. Very, very nice. Chest, looking at the chest. If I can get this, yeah, get this. I might have to tilt it. My display is getting in the way. But if you look at the chest, we've got some different coloration going on there. I got to get back there and focus. You can see that. And we've got those arms. Those arms are, well, with Tyrannosaurus Rex, they're always tiny. But these seem, I don't know, smaller to me, proportionally speaking. Considering the size, I would have assumed, when you compare it to the other models, that this would be more of a Tarbosaurus than a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The only difference is that, looking at that skull, we'll take a look top side there. It's it's thicker than a Tarbosaurus's skull, and we'll see that. I'm going to compare them because I want to see the differences and the similarities in the size and in those arms. Now that I'm talking about it, look at this nice the wrinkles right there, pretty cool. The hind limb looking real strong. The nice push off. You see the flap of skin right there, and the coloration going down. We've got the left foot lifting off the ground, the toes painted nicely, the claws painted nicely black. Going down that tail, we'll look up so we can get that bird's eye view of the coloration as it melts on both sides there. The tail, blue-green, then it gets that brown, creamish brown color, and we've got the brown spots going down. As we taper, they become almost stripe-like, and then at the very tip, oops, I got out of there. I got so carried away. You guys are like, what is he talking about? And lost my train of thought. Anyway, yeah, it goes to the cream color, and you see the stripes, and then when we get to the tip of the tail here, you see we get one nice brown color solid. And flipping it just so you can see it from the other side, and going down, and you see that right foot is stepping forward, and very nice. The musculature is good. And then going down there, cloaca check, got a straight up cloaca going on there, and nice cream color on the bottom there. And we end as how we started. For the sake of these comparisons, I moved the base out of the way because the style of the base, it's like a hill, so I can get models to stand on it, but not when you're trying to compare, because of like I said, it's like a hill. But here we have our Haolonggood Tyrannosaurus Rex with PNSO's Wilson 2.0, and you can already see just from this angle right here that Wilson is definitely bulkier, and you can probably tell that he's a bit longer. But to further illustrate that, I take them both off, and I have had to put Wilson in the rear, and then put Haolonggoods next to him. And definitely smaller. Wilson's definitely taller, and it's amazing because Wilson is actually crouching down. The pose that he was put in was more so either standing off against something, you know what I'm saying, or or hunting. So here we go. Look at it this way as I put them snout to snout, and you can see Wilson's tail is definitely tapering off. So there's that. There's definitely that. So Wilson is definitely larger. Like I said, at 12 and 3/4 inches, this Tyrannosaurus Rex is definitely the smallest of the bunch. And now we've got Cameron, also from PNSO, and definitely larger, because if I'm not mistaken, Cameron is just maybe a 1/4 inch slightly larger than Wilson was. They might be the same size, but I know he's definitely surpassing the 13-inch mark. And here's Tarbosaurus. As I mentioned earlier, I was going to bring it out as well. And this is, of course, by PNSO. It is slightly smaller than Haolonggood's Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it's about the same length, close to the same length, but it looks a lot less bulky, which is saying something, because this Tarbo is a pretty thick guy. Now, the thing that I also wanted to show was maybe the size of the arms. I've got the T-Rex's arms on our left and Tarbo's on the right, and yeah, I think the arms on the Rex are, of course, being Tyrannosaurus Rex is supposed to be tiny, but Tarbosaurus, proportionally speaking, has the smallest arms out of all Tyrannosaurids. And I don't know, it seems like, well, the Tyrannosaurus arms are definitely thicker, so they just seem to be, and it's crazy saying this about a Tyrannosaurus Rex, they seem to be too short. Here's our Haolonggood Tyrannosaurus Rex going up against our Haolonggood Triceratops, and I've seen the both the skeletal reconstructions as well as the statues of T-Rex versus Triceratops at the Los Angeles Natural History Museum, and they were not this close in size. Let me tell you, this looks like a juvenile Rex trying to take on a full-grown bull Triceratops to me. But that's what we have. But quite frankly, it would look close to like that with the PNSO versions also. This is a very large Triceratops, and the scale of it, 135 scale, it represents a 27-foot long animal, so it's the right size. Can't front on that. But enough about that. You see, I've got the Rex's mouth open. I did fail to go over the articulation. It does have jaw articulation. And with that, when you look inside the mouth, the teeth look great. They're individually sculpted and put in there. They've got some pointiness to them. The connecting tissue for the jaws looks very realistic and red. The mouth painted nice and red, or pinkish and wet. We look up, if I can get it to in there. We have more of the wet look, and we do have, I had to peek real quick, we do have nasal passages up there, and there's some nice ridge work going on. So very, very attention to detail oriented. Here's Rexy next to a 135 scale human, and even though this model is smaller than most, still big enough to eat this guy up. And to sum up our review of the Haolonggood Tyrannosaurus Rex, the blue version, I love the colors. I'm loving the colors. Very, very beautiful. Beautiful colors on the head, the skull, the crest, the mouth. When I got around to opening it up, you saw how nice that was on the interior. Nice wet look. The attaching skin for the jaws, very realistic. The teeth, very realistic. Nice and separated. Very, very nice. And they're not just like they're not like chalk white. They look like teeth. They really do. I think the model is just a bit smallish. I don't want to say too small, because it could be a different stage of development for the Rex. I'm just going to say smallish. Still works. Even if it's not a full-grown Rex, it's still a force to be reckoned with when you think about the scale that it represents at 37 feet long, which is basically an adult, I'm quite sure. Or very close to it. Subadult, or the upper, an older subadult at the very minimum. I'm still having issues accepting the length of the arms, and I know I'm tripping because we are talking about a Tyrannosaurus Rex here, but I just think the arms are thick enough. I just think they should be a little bit longer. Once again, that's just me probably tripping. The coloration for this model is excellent. I'm in love with it. And I can't wait I'm already getting ideas on how to display this guy with at least one of the PNSO Rexes. I was thinking about bringing out the Rebor one, but the Rebor Rex is oversized to begin with. It's too big anyway. It's a very nice Rex, though. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful replica of Scotty, I believe. And I love having that too, but I would never really display it with other Rexes unless it's like he's the big dog, and all of the other ones are just like like they're juveniles, and that Rex would be considered the mom or something, whatever, however you want to play it. But standing on its own, this is a very nice model. This is Haolonggood's first take on the Tyrannosaurus Rex. They did go with the lipless look. That's going to turn some collectors away, unfortunately. So yeah, there is that. I will say this, since I'm talking about things mouth with the Rex. Haolonggood has improved their articulated jaw game with this model for sure, and that's always been the the issue with Haolonggood's theropods, and you know, the articulated jaw, and they have improved with this guy for sure. What do you guys think? Anyway, let me know down below about this Tyrannosaurus Rex from Haolonggood. What do you think? You like this one? I don't, you know, I don't double dip, so of course I don't have the brown one. Would you prefer the brown? What do you think? You know, let me know down below. Also, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you will know the next time I upload another video. And yeah, it's a beautiful model. I'm loving it. Until next time, guys, Rexsaurus Rex, and we are out.